Hey guys, it's Neon for Clownfish TV. We're going to talk about the Funimation audio leak drama and how the media has a different take on it than Twitter, and it is actually kind of a big deal. It is actually kind of a big deal because it's hit some outlets that I don't think Funimation wants it to hit. So before we get into the video, please subscribe to Clownfish TV if you have not done so already. We hit 56 or 57,000 subs this week. We're hoping to hit 100,000 by the end of the year. That would be awesome. We cover pop culture. We have news, views, and rants about pop culture, and we just try to have a good time. We try to have a good time. Some people don't like us, but that's okay. They don't have to. We're not for you. So anyway, so the Funimation audio leak drama, just a bit of a recap if you're not familiar with it. A couple of days ago, it came out that some of the voice actors on Dragon Ball Z had recorded some really iffy outtakes using their characters' voices, and it hit the public. Now, I don't know how long it's been since these were recorded, probably 10 or 20 years. But, a lot of people involved were some of the people who were, very much against voice actor Mignogna, who was terminated, in February from Funimation because of allegations of misconduct. Now, and some of the allegations beyond the misconduct were that, Mignogna was a homophobe, and these audio clips, well, let's just say that people who live in glass houses should not throw stones, right? Some of the clips were, they're pretty raw. Some of them were, admittedly, I thought were kind of funny, but it's not a look that Funimation, would really want to have right now. I don't think, having its voice actors out there using their characters' voices, making these kind of jokes, especially since some of those hot takes weren't very LGBTQ friendly. Let's put it that way. So this article is from Pop Dust. This is from Dan K, who actually I do agree with a lot of what he writes. I want to be clear. I'm not singling Dan K out. I actually have looked at some of his articles before regarding Rooster Teeth, regarding the situation with Pro Jared, and I think he's usually pretty spot on. I will politely disagree with him in this regard, though. He said that the Funimation leak drama is peak toxic Twitter. It is toxic Twitter, but see, the problem is it hasn't been quarantined to Twitter. It's actually spread far outside of Twitter. And, how far outside of Twitter? Well, if you Google Funimation in the Google News, it's a lot of news outlets are covering this, including IGN. It's not a good look. Pride.com leaked audio shows Dragon Ball Z voice actors using homophobic slurs. Again, not a good look for Funimation, who, prides itself, no pun intended, on being LGBTQ friendly, having their actors out there using Dragon Ball characters' voices to say some really pretty trashy things. And, it gets even worse. There's been rumor of a Funimation casting couch that's hitting a lot of news outlets now, too. And it's going to snowball. I mean, this is going to snowball. This is not just a Twitter thing. Even though it is, quote-unquote toxic Twitter, there's a lot of blame to be thrown around. Frankly, a lot of the voice actors involved in this situation could have probably minimized the damage just by behaving themselves a little bit better on Twitter, but here we are. So it's just, it has reached critical mass, and it'll be interesting to see if Funimation deals with it fairly, or if they just try to ignore it and hope it goes away. Anime News Network is notably not covering this at all, even though IGN, comicbook.com, Game Rant, Pride.com, I mean, all of these sites are covering this situation, and everybody's kind of waiting for Funimation to say something, and they're saying nothing. They're saying nothing. They're just ignoring it. They're ignoring it, and I don't think it's going to go away. I don't think it's going to go away, Funimation. So this article from Pop Dust, Dragon Ball Funimation leak drama is peak toxic Twitter. Inappropriate audio footage recorded in character by the English Dragon Ball dub voiceover cast leaked from Funimation. Then the SHIT really hit the fan. Yeah, there was some question at first as to whether or not these were the actual Funimation voice actors, and Funimation went around and issued copyright strikes against several channels that were using the audio. So that answers that question. They could have just been like, I don't know where you got that, but no, they had to copyright strike those channels. So yeah, it actually is a legit Funimation thing. Twitter is a toxic wasteland where niches within an already niche fan community can circle jerk amongst themselves until they're convinced that their view on the day's drama is objectively correct. Twitter mobs are rarely capable of distinguishing between shades of gray. I would agree with that. They're prone to generating conspiracy theories and swarming hashtags until they believe they have facts and insider information that they have no way of actually knowing. Worst of all, they genuinely believe that whatever they're mad about within their niche community is actually important, even though it very rarely matters, and they use their conviction as justification for bullying and harassment campaigns. Yeah, but again, this is the thing. This is assuming this is going to stay quarantined to Twitter. Now, this was written a couple of days ago, and it blew up. It has leaked outside of Twitter. And again, you know, for the most part, I actually do agree with a lot of Dan K's articles. So I'm not throwing shade at Dan K here, but it's absolutely blown up. And I don't know how Funimation is gonna deal with it. I don't know how they're gonna deal with it. Twitter outrage is a plague. I've said before, and I'll certainly say it again whenever I do. I get lots of hate from cartoon avatars who think they hold any sort of real-world power outside of their fandom. Inevitably, they pile into the comments to prove my point. Yeah, we get that all the time, arguing about why the target of their hate really does deserve it, and how dare I defend someone who insert wall of text nobody actually cares to read, but today's drama is about Dragon Ball. So at least this time I know the characters screeching at me. For anyone completely out of the loop, Dragon Ball is Japanese cartoon, blah, blah. Funimation handles the English dub and has for some time. And as such, Funimation, and more specifically, the English dub actors of Dragon Ball, hold a very special place in the hearts and minds of many anime fans. So imagine their surprise when an audio leaked of Dragon Ball's English voice actors making crude jokes in their characters' voices. This is truly end of days stuff right here. This is ruining my childhood type of SHIT, except it's not, and people on Twitter are having a big tantrum over a few voice actors making edgelord jokes and footage that was probably recorded almost 20 years ago. You can listen to the audio here, and he does have a link. To be clear, the intent of the article is not to defend the voice actors behind the recordings. The intent is to defend reasonable, measured reactions, of which the Twitter community currently seems entirely incapable. I agree. Twitter is garbage. Twitter is a festering pile of steaming, hot garbage. Up front, it's not hard to see why the audio is offensive. Nobody wants to wake up to their favorite childhood hero saying, "Bundle of sticks." Reading bad fanfiction erotica in character is funnier, but I digress. Actually, so I'll admit, some of the clips I thought were kind of funny. They're just not appropriate, one, in this day and age, and two, with everything else going on at Funimation right now, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look for Funimation. It's completely understandable that a lot of people would not want to hear beloved anime characters saying such grotesque things. However, they were joking. That's not an excuse, but it's an incredibly important distinction to make. The voice actors were not going on some sort of hate screed reflective of their real life views. Does it matter anymore? I mean, I'm going to put that out there. Does it matter if you're joking or not? Because we live in a time where people don't understand jokes. They don't understand shades of gray. They don't understand nuance. They don't understand. People just don't. If you say anything, even if it's meant to be a joke, it's going to offend somebody somewhere. They were making purposely offensive jokes privately amongst themselves in the voices of their PG-oriented characters. It is a common pastime. We've said this before. And again, I am not defending this. What we're trying to do is call out kind of the hypocrisy on Funimation's part if there is no action taken. But you know, we've actually been on panels at anime conventions, and there have been voice actors on those panels saying things in their characters' voices. However, some of the panels we were on, they deliberately told people they were not allowed to tape, videotape, audio tape, nothing, because they did not want it to come back on those actors at a later date. Because even then, I mean, we're talking 4, 5, 6 years ago, even then, call-out culture was beginning to call people out. and you know, it was potentially career damaging. So was it homophobic? Absolutely. Does that mean the voice actors are genuine homophobes or terrible people over a decade later? Probably not. That being said, people were just upset because they thought some voice actors they liked were homophobes. It would make sense. So they said that they've jumped on the hashtags like Funimation, Funny Leaks, and Funimation Exposed, not only to express sadness about their ruined childhoods, but to call Funimation out for hypocrisy over the firing of another voice actor earlier in 2019 over a multitude of misconduct accusations. Here's where things get muddy. And he attempts to explain the Vic Mignogna situation. Now, he does say that, look, there were numerous allegations leveled at Vic. He does try to make it out like people are blowing it off like it's just a jelly bean joke, or the jelly bean joke is actually what got him fired. You know, it does go deeper than that, but I think where people are having the issue is that it does show kind of a double standard on Funimation's part. And beyond that, the actors who were involved in this, have done some really wacky stuff on Twitter. I mean, speaking of Twitter being a dumpster fire, that we've kind of watched from our armchair observation point, and we're like, why the hell? Why don't they just keep their mouths shut and let this blow over? And they haven't done it. So now it's in court. Now, a lot of the things that have been said on Twitter is probably going to hurt their case. I really don't know how things are going to play out. Not a lawyer, have not been keeping up with Nick Rekieta's streams because they're like 4 hours and he goes on at like freaking 11 o'clock at night. So just from what we can gather from the situation, the things that these voice actors have said on Twitter, that they've done behind the scenes, not helping their case. So it's a very, very, very complicated situation. And here's where I do disagree. With Dan K. Said, unfortunately, the I Stand With Vic crowd seems to have spread into the larger Dragon Ball community on Twitter, because many of the Twitter posts related to the Funimation leak seem to think it's incredibly hypocritical that one voice actor was fired over a silly jelly bean joke, while a bunch of other voice actors got away with making legitimately offensive jokes. I think Funimation has to be even. You know, and it is more. I mean, in Vic's case, there was more. There was more. But it also shed some light on the double standard as to how people are treated, you know, by Funimation. Funimation made a big point of rebuking Vic Mignogna's alleged behavior in public, which has damaged his career, you know, regardless of what you think of him. Once it's out there. And I'll be honest, I think that there was some collusion going on with Anime News Network that wrote the article on Vic talking about all the allegations against Vic, but it turned out that they were using photographs that were used out of context or doctored or whatever. I mean, it really undermined the whole thing. If Funimation does nothing about this when, you know, it's even hit Japan, when Pride.com is taking offense to it, when there's, you know, rumors about a casting couch. I mean, if they don't address this at all, you Google Funimation, you go out to Twitter and you just put in Funimation, and it's a bad look. It's a bad look. I mean, there's a lot of really bad stuff going on that has nothing to do directly with the allegations about Vic Mignogna, just really bad behavior. If Funimation doesn't address this, then yeah, they do look like hypocrites. You know, they do look like hypocrites. Either you're not allowed to say and do these things, or you're not. And it does look like, again, my armchair observation, that they're protecting certain people at the company, but other people at the company can be thrown under the wheels of the bus. So he continues, it's fine to say that a separately released audio leak offends you. It's even fine to want the people behind that audio leak to be let go from their roles. Heck, it's totally valid to want Funimation to lose Dragon Ball over the debacle, but it's insane to suggest that a clearly intentionally joking audio leak is somehow equivalent to multiple women coming forward and saying the same guy harassed them. These two instances should not be treated exactly the same, regardless of what seething people on Twitter might think. The world is not black and white. Shades of gray exist. Bad behavior does not mean worse behavior didn't happen, and Twitter is trash. Well, really, the crux of it, though, is we're trying to get to, you know, what actually happened with Vic. what actually happened. Did the things that people are accusing him of happen or not happen? And if they did not happen, then why was he terminated? And so this is tricky, and I agree that this is peak toxic Twitter. I don't necessarily agree with them on whether or not this is a serious thing. I think look, our take on this, and we've tried to be very neutral. We've tried. People accuse us of taking one side or the other side. We get all kinds of shitty comments. Every time we do a video on the situation, we get a slew of shitty comments from people on both sides of the thing. My thing is like, look, clearly Funimation has to clean house. If this were my company, okay, if it were our decision, and Geeky and I have said this before, when all hell broke loose in February, and we had voice actors out there making shitty comments back then that painted the company in a bad light, I would have told them to shut up. Or I would have been like, you know what, we're gonna put everybody that's involved with this situation on probation until we get this situation figured out. It's a bad look for the company. Stop saying stupid stuff on Twitter. Stop trolling people on Twitter. Stop it. And they didn't do that. So it escalated, and now it's like, okay, tit for tat. What dirt can be dug up on the other side? And it's going to continue to escalate. I don't know how, realistically, I don't know how the Mignogna situation is going to play out. But they're not helping their case any. They're not helping Funimation's case any. Funimation does not look like a bunch of heroes in the eyes of a lot of anime fans right now. And they're not even addressing this at all. It's all over the place, and they refuse to address it. There's no tweet about it. There's nothing on the Anime News Network, and we know that they're in cahoots, with a lot of people at Funimation. There's nothing. Not even a, hey guys, we're sorry. Those were made in a different time. They were never supposed to see the light of day. We were just messing around between takes. We're really sorry. We completely understand that we offended people. Nothing. But we know they're legit because Funimation was copyright striking people's channels. So it is a bad look for Funimation. They really do, like, whether or not they lose the Dragon Ball license, that's not my call. It's possible that they will because, Goku's going to be an ambassador for the 2020 Olympics. Toei Animation doesn't want to deal with all this bullshit. And it's been nonstop bullshit for the last 6 or 8 months. One negative story after another in relation to Dragon Ball, their franchise, their IP, their name being dragged through the mud. Yeah, I would be pissed. I'd be like, if you guys can't get your shit together, we'll give the license to somebody else who can. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.